Hi there. This is an introduction to basically a series of videos that I've put together in response to a friend of mine who's asked me to teach them how to program, how to code. Okay, so we're going to be, I thought putting this together and to explain some of the first things you need to start programming, just to be to start off with the simple stuff. We'll be doing this. I've thought about doing this little project, okay? So along the way to make it interesting, because of course programming is something which is very practical. We have to really practice it. It's not just concepts, even though we have to learn a lot of different concepts as well along the way, obviously, and tools and things, and so this is just like a noughts and crosses game or a tic-tac-toe or whatever you want to call it. So we've had two players here, each one, and then we're registering, whose turn it is next. And then when we have a winner, then, it reports that it can detect it, and we can't keep playing. So we'd have to reset the game and to start again. Okay, so it's a basic thing, but at least we've got something practical, a little project we can go on with, and that's it. So there's a when we start off programming with these, we can start with any programming language really. There are some that may be a bit more difficult to start off with, and others more complex. But in the end, there are just so many programming languages. But I thought we could do web development. As you can see, this is something which is in a web page. So we could this one here, which is something we've got on any computer. That's a kind of maybe to start off, as I was saying. Well, we don't for this course. I had thought better just start the simple from get the basics, the fundamentals, all the fundamentals down really strongly. So in this course, we're not going to be using any special kind of development tools. We'll be using just the normal text editor we've got on just about any computer has got a text editor. If we're on Windows, which I'm on now, we'll be using Notepad. But if got a Mac, then you've got what's it called? Text edit, which is basically the same thing. You can just write normal text in a file and just save it. Well, that's how we're going to be coding at the moment, okay? And we'll see about some of the particularities about that, and maybe later on in some other stage we'll introduce different tools that can be handy as well. It can actually make things a bit easier, but to learn, I think it's good to see how things work under the hood, so to speak. Okay, so that's about it. Well, for the introduction, we'll be introducing, these are some of the resources that we could use for web development or programming in general. Mozilla, these are the guys that have the web browser, Firefox. This is another one on JavaScript, and this to learn how to code these W3 schools. They've actually got information on a heap of different programming languages: JavaScript, SQL for databases, PHP, Java, C++, and the list just keeps going and going. So that's the thing. When you're starting off, thankfully there's a lot of information on internet, but it is very daunting. It can be very daunting when you want to start off and you just need something practical to say, where do I start with all this information? It can be just a bit difficult to kick off, let's say. So this video series, I hope, will respond to that need for those that want to start programming and just we'll see. So we'll start with the next video. In the next video, we'll set up we'll program our first web page. Okay, just the basics of a web page programmed by us, and we'll go from there. Okay, thank you.